Smurfs, what's up? It's good to see you guys. I'm glad you could make it. It's always good to see you guys. Well, we have PJ Cruikshank in the Element. How are you doing, sir?
Yo, yo, yo. Am I the only one here? I thought Ryan would have been in. He was in chat earlier. I thought he would have popped in.
Maybe I'll pop in just now.
Yeah, maybe.
But it's good to see you, man. Thank you for coming. I hope you're doing well.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
It's good.
I had a bit of a nightmare today though. I was going to Halfords to get a new inner tube and tyre to fix my old scooter for my nephew. And on the way there, I was going there on my new scooter, and I bust up my new scooter.
Oh no.
So I had to leave it with Halfords for them to fix, and I'll get it back on Friday. So I've got two scooters, and not one of them working. Well, it does work. It's just the mud guard that came off, but that holds the braking light. So, I needed to get it fixed. But yeah, all good, man. All good.
Aye. So I'm going to say hi to everybody in the chat quickly. PJ Cruikshank, obviously. Hello. Luch, what's up? Good to see you. Hey, Luch also popped up in Element now as well. Hey, man. Yeah, good to see you.
Hello. How's it going?
It's good in yourself, man.
Yeah, I'm good.
It's good. Cool. Glad you could make it.
He did come in earlier to ask why he was timed out. So I'll let him know. I'll let him know the reason. But yeah, of course you're allowed in, Lou. I didn't like you coming in when you were timed out. That was it. It just seemed a little bit. You know what I mean? Nobody else does that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's okay. All right, dude. That's all right.
Hey Vicky, good to see you too. Ryan S, what's up? Desert Full, hello. Thank you for coming. Luch, obviously good to see you too. Riff Raff, hey, glad you could make it, man. Hope the sound is doing okay for you guys tonight. I said it even louder, so hopefully it sounded fine. Did it sound fine on YouTube, guys?
Yeah, I think it sounds fine.
It does, yeah.
Okay, cool. So, we've got 19 votes so far. Science is a method. 74% say yes, and 26% say no. Interesting why people would say no, though. Would you guys know why people would say no for the scientific method being a method?
Well, I can't see why
I don't know.
Even Globers shouldn't say no, should they? Because they do think they're using a scientific method. You know what I mean? So
yeah, it is just the method.
There should be no no's in there at all.
So maybe it's just the trolls. Yeah. Who knows?
Yeah,
that was my reasoning. Like, it's a scientific method, so
yeah, exactly. there shouldn't be disagreements on that.
No.
Oh, anyway, no. I saw Now Opinion did a video on my orange experiment, and then I remember Rachel also did one that I think we can maybe go through, and then CC made another video about gravity and the upwards acceleration. So I was thinking maybe we can go through some of those things if you guys are keen to do that.
She made one about upward acceleration. I said, upward. I thought you meant upward rising earth. Sorry, upward acceleration. Got it.
Yeah. Right. Upwards acceleration, downwards acceleration, constant speed up.
So I just heard up and I thought of upward rising earth. No, I get it now.
But it's good. But it's good to have everybody here. Please hit the likes and share the show if you haven't already. It really does help to get the show out to a wider audience. So, do you guys know anything about this Now Opinion guy?
No, never heard of him.
So yeah, I think he doesn't have a very big channel though, but I think it's interesting. For Orange You Wrong, Flatzoid, Unpeeling Gravity Secrets. So I thought maybe that's quite catching.
Huh? I won't share.
Charlie.
Hey Charlie Walsh, what's up, man? Good to see you. Thank you for coming. And yeah, you guys can stop anytime you want, and we can chat science.
You're a cheeky bugger, Charlie.
But let's see what Now Opinion has
and
to say.
And peeling as well. Like you peel an orange. Nice.
This is an orange.
This is not the first time we have seen this kind of obvious introduction of a food item.
This is an orange.
But we also have our old friend, Mr.
Sleeping Warrior.
Oh, I see. I wonder if he does all his videos with his daughter. Quite interesting.
This is an egg.
He stated that was an egg. Correctly so. It's one of the few times he has been absolutely correct. And we have made fun of him so many times that, in opinion...
Hey, Gary Wabinga, what's up, man? Thanks for coming. Good to see you. One thing, what kind of language do you think this guy speaks there?
Not sure. Yeah.
Trying to figure out his accent.
Have to do it again. But he did his egg experiment.
We're going to see what happens when this egg is dropped into here.
Trying to disprove gravity. But I think we did a really cool experiment with an egg proving gravity. Let's have a look.
Proving gravity with an egg.
Sounds like he's got a very, very like soft German accent.
Yeah, that's how I was Austrian almost.
Did you say this is an orange based on what Sleeping Warrior said?
Yeah, it was just fun. Just because he said this is an egg, I thought it would be fun to say this is an orange. You know what I mean?
I see, yeah. That makes sense.
It's an apple.
It was for the fun of it. Hey, did someone pop in? Hey, Ryan, what's up, man? Good to see you.
We were just waiting for you, right?
Video's quite loud, this says. I'm going to put the video a bit lower.
Oh, yeah, you say it's quite loud.
Hey, Moon Rover, good to see you, mate. Thank you for coming. Okay, but let's see. He claims they have done an experiment with the egg to prove gravity. So I'm interested to see this.
With an egg? Oh boy. Salt water?
Yeah. I know, a Sleeping Warrior did it.
Showing how easy it is to prove gravity, I guess.
That's what they're saying, but let's see. This should be interesting.
Get it because it's quick and sweet.
Ooh, the music.
Really hot egg.
Okay.
So
Hot egg, okay? What? Okay. Is that
I'm
supposed to
guessing
be the science
They're saying
experiment?
gravity makes it fall into the cup.
Oh, does it?
Oh, no, it doesn't. Hey,
Well, if you
Jeff
just put some
Conkle.
salt in that water, it won't sink.
Yeah.
Exactly. So where's gravity there?
Hey, Jeff Conkle, good to see you, mate.
Buoyancy there.
No stress, man. We're just glad to have you here. Yeah, you see, the thing is, he thinks because the egg fell into the cup, that means gravity. No. Remember, the egg is denser than the air around it. Less dense than the water. Get it?
Yep.
That's the whole reason Sleeping Warrior did his egg experiment. Was to show changing the medium density causes displacement, which causes the directionality of the egg. So
that was the one where he added salt to the water, right?
yeah, he added salt
Yeah,
to the water.
That changed the buoyancy, right?
The density of the liquid, of the medium.
Yeah.
So the ratio changed between the egg and the medium, and therefore it displaced. And because it displaced, because it was less denser, it went up, it accelerated. So he used science with using the scientific method by manipulating the independent variable, which was in this case the density of the medium, and that's what caused the acceleration. So not gravity. And now this opinion guy thinks, let me drop a hot egg through air, therefore gravity. No, that didn't prove gravity at all. That actually validated. Our argument.
Let's continue the video to see if there's more.
Okay, yeah, maybe there's more. Yeah.
it was literally first try.
It's cute that he uses his children though. That's quite cool.
But now it's all about oranges. And actually, my opinion is not unfamiliar with oranges either. Here. Let's have a look at one of our first videos we ever made.
Yeah, ooh, music.
I used toothpicks and put them into an orange.
Okay.
I measured the toothpicks and the length of the shadow.
Okay.
Oh boy, can I take the link to my shadow too?
Hey Peter Collins, good to see you. So in other words, he's referencing the Aristophanes. But notice though, he knows the orange is circular, guys. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
So it is
Spherical?
it is an actual sphere.
Yeah, not perfect, but it is.
Yeah.
Well, it's an oblique view, isn't it?
But you know an orange is a sphere. That's what I'm saying.
Well, the Earth is supposedly oblate, so I guess it would be more like an orange than a perfect
Yeah.
circle, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
that the top one gave. Hence, I could calculate
Calculate. There we go. Calculate, not measure. Well done.
Good work.
Yeah, we can calculate it.
Yay, somebody said it right.
You actually said
Yay.
right, correct. Yeah, exactly. Calculated. But you see, that's not science, though, what he's doing there anyway. This is just calculation. Based on orange, you know it's an orange. It's a sphere. So that's fine. But when you're trying to false equivocate it to Earth, you're just begging the question that it's a globe. Doesn't make it a globe. You guys understand that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because there's sticks in the ground and you measure a shadow, which means flat, by the way.
What does that
And then
what does that
calculate a
mean?
radius of Earth doesn't make it have a radius of Earth. It just means you calculated it.
What does RHO mean? Which part of RHO equal mass stroke volume gives the acceleration?
Which part of rho? That's got to do with buoyancy.
Ah, got you.
Because they think buoyancy has got everything to do with gravity, but actually it hasn't.
Yeah.
Because Archimedes' principle came out 1,900 years before gravity was even postulated, and Newtonian gravity is not a thing, dude. Newtonian gravity was shown false, and mass does not attract mass. Gravity is not a force, so you can't use rho as your argument for gravity anyway. Gravity is not a force, guys. Get with the times.
circumference of the orange and then compare it to the actual circumference of the orange. And it turns out I was spot on with my calculations, and this is a copy of one of the famous.
Wow, that's not bad. 28 measured 28.3 and calculated 28.46. That's actually very good.
Was I got to say, Flats? Jeff Gass had some chat. If you want to
Oh
give him a
yeah,
ring.
Jeff Gass said, well done. Sorry, they asked me to make you a moderator, mate.
Yeah, we had a little poll for you, Jeff.
Yeah.
In Ellen.
Did it work now? Start a moderator. How do I?
Type some.
I'd say
It worked on my end.
Okay.
Oh, you're
Hey, Discord, what's up, man?
Finally. Well, there was no show yesterday, so I actually
What?
got it working just before the show yesterday.
Ah,
Then
sorry,
I
man.
saw the message just.
Sorry, I just
But whatever.
I
you know.
just wasn't
At least.
emotionally up for show last night, guys.
Well, then that's that.
Yeah, but I'm here tonight. Whew.
I'd
Yeah.
say
For a 6-hour show. Oh no, I'm just messing.
Go, Luch.
I'd say for some maybe some practical purposes.
Not understanding. What's
for,
practical
for actually most, I'd say, yeah. For most practical purposes, it is useful to treat gravity as a force.
I did see LJ did a super chat on MDD and asked that guy, has gravity been measured as a force before? And the guy, being ignorant, said yes. Many times. Oh man,
So I'd say for practical purposes,
it still doesn't
it's
make it a force though.
useful. It is useful to treat it as a force.
Look, you
But
can do calculations with it
And if
based
they
that way.
said it was
Hello?
a force once, since it isn't, it never was,
Mm-hmm.
so it hasn't.
Exactly. Hey, Sovereign Soul, good to see you. Yeah, the thing is, you can calculate it. Okay? You can use calculations. Nobody's saying equations and things can't be used. Great. But that doesn't make it gravity, and it doesn't make it a force. Hey, Dr. Ale, good to see you, mate. Thank you for coming.
Experiments that
That's not
Eratosthenes
experiment.
did back in the day, proving that the Earth was round. But now,
No. I have to just quickly correct him. No, that didn't prove the Earth is round. It proved you begged the question and calculated the Earth radius based on an assumption that it is a sphere according to your belief system. All you did was prove in your mind that you can calculate the radius. That's it. Definitely didn't prove it was round.
Our good friend Flatzoid also wants to make a fool of himself, and
What? Also wants to make a fool of himself.
Wow.
Hey, One Mind, good to see you, man. Thank you for coming. So sticking to a scientific method is making a fool of yourself, guys. Interesting.
he claims that he also wants to.
Sorry?
Like, science uses assumptions, right?
Yeah, it uses assumptions, but you actually test those assumptions.
Yeah. That's fine.
It's no longer. Let me ask you something. Is it still an assumption after you've tested it?
The assumptions are based on empirical evidence.
The assumptions are based on observation. So you first observe a natural phenomena, then you go and assume what you think the cause for that naturally observed phenomena is. And then you're doing your systematical experimentation to figure out that is the cause for it or not.
I'd say that it's used to disprove it.
Yeah, but you gotta, in your hypothesis, you gotta your hypothesis and a null. So in other words, if you're disproving the one, you're proving the antithesis. You prove one or the other.
Yeah.
Because disprove has an antithesis of prove. So if I've proven my hypothesis true, then that's disproved the null. If I've disproven my hypothesis, I've proven the null.
I can't remember where I seen it, Jeff Conkle, but someone said somewhere apparently they covered the circumference of the Earth with a long rope. I seen that somewhere, some comment.
That's crazy.
I couldn't believe it. What, a 24,000-mile rope?
That's crazy.
We'd have to have excess in case it was more than 24, John.
Hey, Edu, not rap. Good to see you, mate.
Disprove gravity, just like Sleeping Warrior.
The scientific method.
He is going to talk about the scientific method.
Yay.
It's an empirical method, strictly there to establish the cause for an effect observed in nature.
And we are not unfamiliar with that either, because here in the very basic science book I have, I think it's on page 13 or something like that in this gigantic book. The big old book. Oh yeah, here it is. The scientific method as explained in this very basic book.
Basic.
Let's see. It says it goes in the order of observe, question, hypothesize, predict, test predictions, and draw a conclusion.
Great. So what I said, because you observe natural phenomena, so closely observe the physical world around you. That's what you're doing. Question, recognize a question or a problem. That is doing your research, like I said. So you're seeing if anybody else has observed the same thing and try to do science for it. Hypothesize, which is what I said. Make an educated guess, a hypothesis to answer the question. What would that hypothesis be, guys? What's that educated guess? To figure out the cause for the effect. You did what?
Yep.
Observed. Then you make a prediction based on what the outcome would be, based on experiments.
Yeah, I did the experiment. You guys want to check it out?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I got salt water and regular water. You guys want to see?
In the process.
Show us, Ryan. Show
This
us.
is good. Okay, here we go. Can you see my ugly mug yet? Okay, so
We can see your beautiful face, dude.
okay, so here's my cups. Okay, you can see the one that's got salt in it.
No,
Okay,
no.
egg
How
out,
do
I'm gonna
wait?
rinse it off.
How do you know that's salt? How do you know it's
Because
not
I put it in there
chlorine?
myself. I
No,
mean,
you put chlorine
you have to
in.
trust me on that one. Okay, so the one without salt, I put it in there, right?
Yeah.
Egg sinks, just like you showed, right? Okay.
Ooh.
Take that same egg, put it in this, and I had to really salt this water to get it to float. But
You basically made the
Check it
salt equivalent of a simple syrup.
look,
There we
close.
go.
So what happened to gravity, dude?
Is
How
your
come
wa-
gravity forgot to pull down on the egg? I don't know. But
I think we got
something's
more
not right.
pressing problem. Was that your wife fighting with you?
No, that's my daughter. My daughter thinks she knows everything.
Tell
She doesn't like me.
her Lee salt is nice and cheap.
By the way,
She
nice,
says I made a simple syrup.
Nice demonstration, dude. Nice demonstration.
No, but I mean, it's true, right? I mean, I
Yeah.
changed the density. The egg now floats. So how is it that gravity forgot to pull down on it just because it got
Exactly.
salty? It doesn't make sense. Doesn't make
Exactly.
sense at all.
Demonstration.
Like if you can explain to me how that changed gravity and how gravity knows that the water got salty, I would love to know how you figured that out.
Well, exactly.
Well, you know what happened there actually? What was the manipulated independent variable? The density of the liquid.
Density.
Exactly.
Yeah, the density of the liquid.
Did you
right.
manipulate gravity or did you manipulate density ratio?
Well, I manipulated the density of the water, but
There we
that
go.
countered the gravity, right? That countered whatever you call that pull down. Yeah.
Adding
Well, I
salt.
mean, the egg should float because it does have an air bubble in it, but for some reason it doesn't float unless it's bad.
Adding-
Or I mean, it doesn't float unless it's bad,
No,
which is
that's-
weird, right?
I
You would think
so.
the air bubble
I
would make it float, but it doesn't.
Yeah, I just got to manipulating the medium, isn't it?
Hmm?
That's the only thing you manipulate. The medium.
Hey, jolly man.
Adding
good to see you.
salt.
Yeah.
Ah, it's manipulating.
Adding salt to the water would increase the density.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you increase the density of the medium.
Right.
So, in other words,
Is this guy always doing his show with his daughter?
I don't know. It's the
Oh,
first
who it
time I've
is?
watched the show from him, so that's what I said, mate. It's interesting.
I hope not.
But
I don't like when they do
you're-
that.
I
you
thought
know,
I
when
thought
they
that
bring
was
the
a little
children in like that.
scary.
You're leaving
Yeah, I was
out
gonna say.
buoyancy.
Well, that's exactly what
It
we
is
did.
a little freaky.
We changed buoyancy.
You see,
Yeah.
Lou, what we are saying, buoyancy has got nothing to do with gravity.
Yeah.
Right.
You guys
It's-
wanting
it's
to
the
bring
power
gravity, you guys are wanting to bring the belief of gravity into Archimedes' principle. Doesn't actually make it so.
That if gravity is so strong that it, you know what I mean, that it holds these waters and all that together, it should be strong enough to pull an egg through salty water.
Mm-hmm.
Gravity is like weak, though. We
No,
don't
no,
say it's
gravity's
strong.
not weight. That's false.
No, it's
No.
weak.
Weight is just a spring.
No,
it's just
it's
when you put
weak.
something
Yeah,
on a
wait,
spring
wait,
and you
wait.
measure the
Weak.
length of it.
Weak. Yeah, weak.
Okay,
So,
but I've just got to
yeah.
correct you though. Gravity's not a force, so it can't be a weak force.
Yeah, exactly.
Although they try and
True.
teach gravity as a weak force, doesn't make it weak because it's not a force. It first has to be a force to be able to be weak.
Yeah, and how can it be described as weak if it's meant to hold screws to avoid a ball and stuff like that?
By adding the salt to the water, you increase the density, which in turn would increase the force of buoyancy.
It increases the displacement. Correct? So it holds true to my hypothesis that I had with the orange, and it holds true to the hypothesis that sleeping water gave with the egg.
Do you think you could change the buoyancy equation to fit that?
Yeah, just take G out and put displacement. Because that's
So
what
you
it was with
replace
Archimedes'
G.
principle. Remember, like I said, Archimedes' principle existed 1,900 years before they postulated gravity as a force.
Or the sphere, yeah.
And they used Archimedes' principle for ships and everything long before Newton even was a twinkling in somebody's eye. You get it? No gravity was involved in the equations. There was no gravity. There still is no gravity. It's just because they
suddenly they want to add it.
yeah, because they put rho vg in, they want the g to happen. It doesn't make it real. It's just calculated. It's exactly what I said with the guy with the orange. Just because he
It's an assumption, yeah.
he calculated sticks and shadows, okay, using sticks and shadows and calculators cameras doesn't make it a globe. It means he begged the question there's a globe. There's no proof of that there's a globe. He just calculated. I mean, he could have used that and calculated as a donut. Does it now make Earth a donut because you can work a circumference out of a donut with doing that?
You're going to need some of those flat pool balls, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They work well.
Go with your flat pool table.
Yeah.
Displacement is a measure of volume.
Yeah, displacement's volume.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Still not gravity though.
But there's no force in volume.
Nobody said there's a force in volume.
So why
Gravity's not a force either.
No, but there is an equal. There is a.
There's an equal force.
to make
The
the
thing
egg
is,
go up, right?
there are equal net forces.
Yeah.
So you got net forces around the object.
But that's based on density, right?
Yeah. That's why we say when they have the unequal distribution of the masses, that's why it's able to accelerate, because it's uneven. It's not sitting in equilibrium. It's in disequilibrium. It has to seek equilibrium. Hey Skeptic, good to see you, man. Don Logan, what's up?
So how does the egg move if there's no force?
That's the thing. It has a force because it's unevenly distributed. Even your general relativity falls under the same principles of having a pseudo force because of the uneven distribution. So it's the space around the object that gives way to let the object accelerate. The only difference is with general relativity, it's based on a fourth dimensional pseudo-Riemannian mind construct space that doesn't exist. It's only mathematical. Relative density disequilibrium works in Euclidean 3 space, which is observable and what we live in.
Well, you're talking about that donkey science?
Donkey dick geometry.
Yeah.
Think of it think of it this way, Luch. If you hold a piece of paper in your hand, it's quite flimsy.
Yeah.
Now try stick a rock on there. You would agree that rock's heavy, so it's going to make that flimsy paper move out the way, and the rock will just fall.
Yeah.
That's practically what's happening.
Okay.
It's an unbalanced force. Get it?
What's an unbalanced force?
It means that it's off balance. It's in disequilibrium. It's not able to support it. Because you would understand. Yeah, if you lean against the wall, you are applying a force on the wall, and the wall is applying a force on you. The wall is able to support you. Now make that wall out of paper mache that's very thin. You're gonna fall right through that wall. It's not going to be able to support you anymore.
Yeah.
So you are the object
Engineering.
that's leaning. Yeah, you are the object that's leaning against something that is either supporting you or not supporting
you are causing the force. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So
It's funny how the environment and our nature responds to us, rather than it just responding to, like when we look at things, like things change. It's really weird. I don't know how that's possible, but it is sometimes.
Yeah.
It's really strange.
Yeah. Shout out to Michael Kahn. Whoop whoop.
And an unbalanced force is a force that changes the position, speed, or direction of an object to which it is applied.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. There you go.
And that's what relative density disequilibrium is about. It's the density ratios. So as soon as the medium's not able to support the object,
It's
unbalanced and it collapses. Yeah, and it seeks equilibrium. If it's able to support
kind of like
it,
those buildings.
yeah, and if it's able to support it,
not an unbalanced force.
gravity is not a force. Gravity can't do what you want it to do.
Density is not an unbalanced force, right?
Density, according to specific gravity, is not a force. According to relative density disequilibrium, the force is created by the uneven distribution of the mass of the object to ratio of the medium.
They react to each other because of their weight, right?
They have a relationship.
Not because of gravity, but because of their specific density and all that.
The physical property of matter.
Yeah.
Density. That's what density is.
Yeah. We work with a really is level.
That is the
Sorry?
Oh, well, let's continue.
classic scientific method. Now, Flatzoid and other flat earthers says it's not science unless you use the scientific method to the T.
That's false. I just said
To the T, really?
Have I ever said that? Have I ever said that, guys? Or have I just said it's not science if you don't use the scientific method?
Well, yeah, I mean...
Yeah, but do I say use it
Well,
to
I
the
mean,
T?
it is science because studying anything is science, right? But what we mean is like we're talking about science like that we use to figure things out. Like we want to know like why a cookie rises, then we use science, right? We find out that baking soda and those other chemicals, when they're heated, they cause an expansion and they cause air bubbles to form in the cookie, right? That's science, right? But you don't need science in order to understand how a cookie cooks. You can just watch it happen, but
you get chemical
it's more fun to understand why it does what it does.
Yeah,
right?
Science helps you know why the chemical reaction happens.
And when we get to science where we can't prove something, then we have what we call theoretical science, where we base it on what we do know, but we're still just guessing because we don't really know the answer to the question. But they don't really tell you that right off. They'll tell you, oh, no, we know all this stuff. But then later they'll tell you, well, we really don't know. Well, then why didn't you just say that at the beginning? We don't know. Okay.
Yeah. Hey,
it's simpler, right?
Good to see you. Glad you can make it.
But that's actually simply not true. Scientists all over the world, they practice science many times without this specific method.
Well, then it's not science, but I still want to know where I said to the T, though. You see, this is exactly why I brought that other video out, making this point, where people see what they want to see, and then they make judgments for me. You understand? They insinuate things for me. And that's exactly why I've brought that Kubrick video out. And I don't know if anybody's realized this. I'm still getting the same thing. Oh no, you believed it was true. Oh no.
Yeah, I just banned someone from earlier on. Before the show even started, as soon as you put it up, I put in my comment. Someone else, you said.
Oh, did any? Oh, sorry.
Someone else came in and says, "Oh, it's Flatzoid. Are you going to apologise for that fake video you put out?" And I said, I told him, I said, "He knows
fake video,
you idiot."
Yeah, it was a social experiment, and it's working perfectly. The people think because
Did anyone seen?
Sorry?
My internet fucks up.
Anyone see?
I just every time I was just gonna ask if anyone saw today. NASA is talking about going. They're talking about going to the moon again. Blah blah blah. I didn't look more into it. I just saw it.
They've been talking about it for a while now.
We're going to the moon now.
How many years have they been saying that?
Since 1970.
Yeah, but there was an article today stating it like it was today. It sounded like it was gonna be today almost. Like it's just around the corner.
And then they're gonna say, "Oh, just make sure you get your Neuralink before you try and watch it. Otherwise, you can't watch it."
Get hooked up to the brainwashing. Yeah, make sure you get that brainwashing. Because being directly connected to the internet wouldn't be dangerous or anything, would it?
Nah.
Sometimes you just have to try and make mistakes, and come up with things by pure coincidence. Yeah.
That's
how things were made.
Yeah.
That's not science, in our opinion.
No. So I said it was 70. I said it was 73. The last went to the moon. It was 72.
72. Okay.
Allegedly.
I don't like them brainwashing children like that.
Nah.
Poor child.
I did that. I did that experiment with my children, okay, but I didn't show them on the camera for everybody to see. I didn't go and tell them what to say. They say what they wanted. I mean, I still want to post the video. It was in Afrikaans though, of what they were saying while we were going through it, because that's how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a nice, exciting thing, and then they have to figure out why that's happening. You understand? And that's
they're trying to break it down psychologically, are they?
Yeah, but I mean that's just
see how they
But you see, that's the difference that I do when I involve my children. I don't. What he's doing, he's actually
you want them to learn the stuff, but you don't want to expose them to the creeps on the internet either.
Exactly, and he's kind of leaning her to say a certain thing, just like what Wolfie did with his daughter. It's exactly the same thing. They bringing biases to their children. In other words, they telling them what to think, and that's when I have an issue with it. I'm not telling my children.
Yeah, I feel bad for the kids when they grow up and they realize their parents just lied to them, and then they get angry at them.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I don't believe in lying to your kids. I think you should tell you. I mean, there's an amount of truth that's acceptable when it comes to how old they are, but I mean, I don't think anything's taboo. Kids need to understand what the real reality is, and you need to tell them so they don't get it from some dumb kid.
Yeah.
Like I learned mine from some teenage kid that told me everything, and I believed it. Like that's not right.
Yeah, guys, yeah, please hit the like, share the show. Really, really does help to get the show to a wider audience. And Truth Over Comfort, what's up, man? Good to see you. But you see, that's what I say. What my difference is, I don't dictate to my children what to think and how to say something. These guys telling their children what to think. You understand? That's when it becomes indoctrination. I show them. I go through the scientific method with them. And let them decide what is going on. I don't tell them, oh no, this is why it's happening. They go through it.
Well, because we don't know why usually. Yeah, most of the time we don't know why. We just have to accept that this is what it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's the same way I felt about the children who was forced to go and learn Islam every day, all the time, all week long when I was a little boy. They were forced to.
Yeah.
They hated every second of having to because they were forced to. They didn't want to because they were forced to. So, most of them didn't care about their religion because they were, they had no free time. They were reading the Quran every day after school. Forced to is not a good way. It also pushes you away from the thing.
Well, yeah, I mean, I said, there's a line you can cross. Yes.
Yeah, because then it just becomes a religion. That's when it becomes a religion. You're forced into it. It's not out of passion.
Yeah.
Really?
You probably won't
that's a good way of explaining
unless something happens.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
It's true. If you force it, then it's not real.
Yeah.
Good point.
Thanks for coming, Luch. Appreciate you coming, man.
Thank you.
Cheers, man.
Have a great rest of the night.
Awesome. You too, man. Thanks for coming. Really appreciate your support, man. Jeff, good to see you too, man. Thank you for coming.
Stay
Enjoy
flat,
the rest of your
Stay
day.
flat.
Cheers.
Let's look at Flatzoid's version of the scientific method before we get into the very interesting orange experiment.
Observe natural phenomena.
It's about you.
When an object is no longer supported by someone or something, it will fall, accelerate downwards from the elevation to the ground. So this would be me picking up an orange and letting it go, and it falls to the ground. This is the natural
What
observed
about the orange
phenomena.
that grows on the tree that
I'm
you
going
touch?
to-
What about that one? I'm just kidding. No, you might want to say something about it because those people that always wonder.
Well, it used energy to grow in the tree. It has photosynthesis.
Well, yeah, the seed, the tree produces the fruit out of a seed, right? Yeah, exactly. It gets fertilized and it makes it from the tree, so the tree becomes what it is, right? When it falls, though, that's what changes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's attached to the tree. Once it becomes non-attached to the tree, then it equalizes. That's just how it works.
But look at it this way: that orange is not able to be supported by the air, but the branch is holding it up. So at the moment, the branch is holding it up. So it's still at uneven. It's in this equilibrium. It's in its relative.
It's
got an uneven
It's an
force.
unnatural kind of thing, but
Yeah,
I got you.
Yeah, because it wants to go down. Of course.
It wants to go somewhere. It's seeking equilibrium, and as soon as that gets broken off the branch, there's only one way it can go because the uneven distribution is down.
You drop it in your hand. Plop.
Yeah. Seems to work.
We should be
Something
glad
made this
gravity. We should be
orange
glad that there's
fall.
density and buoyancy, because if it wasn't for that, we'd go all over.
So in other words, the guy just validated my observed phenomena. Like I said, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I would like to call it something. If not gravity, so perhaps gravity. But Flatzoid's idea is that things move because of what he calls relative density disequilibrium.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Basically, he thinks that whether something goes up or down.
Note, guys, that this experiment I did was based on gravity of mass attracting mass, correct?
Yeah.
So the assumptions
Right,
I
that's
used
there.
was for gravity, and it showed false.
Or at least not logically, it doesn't fit.
No.
Yeah, I mean,
It depends
unless you're
on
not
whether
logical,
it's heavier
maybe
or
we could give
lighter.
people an ESP test or something, or like an IQ test before we talk to them to make sure that they're on the same level of understanding of, you know what I mean? Like, it seems like that becomes an issue always in a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they get stuck on something that you can't seem to explain to them because their mind just can't understand it.
And
It's
no
like,
matter how
is that
simple
really what's
you-
stopping you
and
from
no-
getting it? Like,
and no
yeah.
matter how simple you try and explain it to them.
Well,
Really,
once your mind blocks that, though, you know what I mean. It's like
Yeah.
it's kind of like if someone just comes and tell you that tires don't exist, that you're imagining tires, right, on your car. They don't exist. They're not there. They never put a tire on your car. They're lying to you. You're not going to believe that. Your mind's going to reject that completely and fully, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you went outside and noticed that your car was floating on air and there was no tire there now, then now I might be considering what you said. But not unless I see the tire missing, right? And see it floating on the air, right?
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, that's logical, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And the stuff around it. He says things will move up or down until they find a place where they fit in, density-wise.
I don't really get it.
No. That's okay. You should not listen to this, really.
Wow, you see what I'm saying? Listen to what he's saying.
Let's brainwash the kid while we watch, yeah.
Okay, let's just get back to where I was saying observe, okay? When an object is no longer supported by someone or something, it will fall, accelerate downward from elevation to the ground. That's practically what we observe. You pick it up and it falls. But listen to the specific words he's talking about, and this is what I'm saying, how he's indoctrinating his child. Listen here.
Phenomena.
I'm going to drop it in your hand. Plop.
Yeah. Seems to work. Something made this orange fall.
Yeah.
I would like to call it something. If not gravity, so...
Now, if you were at the bottom of a swimming
gravity.
pool and you passed that orange, what would happen when you let go of it? It would float, right? Hello?
Yeah, exactly.
But Flatzoid's idea is that
So they're
things
different.
move because of what he calls relative density disequilibrium.
Yes.
Basically, he thinks that whether something goes up or down depends on whether it's heavier or lighter than the stuff around it. He says things will move up or down until they find a place where they fit in, density-wise.
I don't really get it.
No. That's okay. You should not listen to this, really.
See what I'm saying? Did you listen to those words?
This guy.
First of all,
Don't listen to those
First of all, he
demon words.
misrepresents what my whole argument is.
Yeah.
And then he makes it confusing for her, and then she says she doesn't understand. This is when he's supposed to explain it to her properly then. No, don't worry, don't listen
Well, yeah,
to it.
explain why this, why this equals that, right? Exactly.
I mean,
but he doesn't do that.
He could have easily said
No.
what he means.
That's
is
brainwashing.
this. He could have easily said this. What Flatzoid means is this, but I don't believe that. This is what I believe.
Right, exactly. That would be a logical argument against it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Instead, he misrepresents what is actually said and then says, no, don't listen to them, that's just wrong. That's called indoctrination, people.
Yep.
Indoctrination to the T. As he likes to say, to the T. So I'm going to say to the T now.
Yeah.
Do you mean that things will go up if this is
Did you just see his
That's
lab
an
there?
I'm
Did you just do
getting
one of
to
those
it, but I can say it already now.
just let us have?
Sorry?
Duper's delight, right
Man,
there.
he
You saw it. Yep.
He
there's
looked
the
funny
Duper.
even when he left there.
Because he gets paid for this. Remember, they all get paid for it.
But I want to see what's the excuse for why things go up now.
Because the air is less dense the higher up it comes, so yes.
what do you mean like a feather will float up?
Yeah, or an orange.
See what I'm saying? Totally
Wait,
misrepresenting. Totally
What did
misrepresenting
he
the
say?
argument. He says, but you
What-
see it gets less dense higher up, so why is it not falling up?
Yeah, exactly. Why wouldn't? Yeah, then things would tend to find their way up, wouldn't they?
But he doesn't
wonder why
get
they
the
don't.
argument. He doesn't get the argument about the supporting the structure. He doesn't get if you picked up a rock, you picked it up from the ground. An orange doesn't.
Or if you were standing next to a hill or a table and it happened to be sitting there, then yeah, you'd be picking it up from there. But yes,
Yeah, but think
it
about
normally would find itself near the ground or wherever
Yeah, but this is
wherever the lowest
but
area
this
would
is
be.
their, yeah, but this is their straw man saying, "Oh, but it's
Of
it's
course.
less dense higher up. Why is it not going up?"
Yeah.
You see, not
And when you
understanding
jumped, then
the air as a whole cannot support the object. The object as a whole is denser than the air around it. Up, down, left, right, it doesn't matter. The end of the day, it's unequally balanced with the air around it. You picked that orange up. You didn't pull it away from the sky. Did that orange just appear out of nowhere in the sky? No. And this is why when I tried to explain it that time with foundations, is specifically for this point.
That sounds so stupid.
So
Yeah, the orange is denser than the air. Why do you expect it to go up?
Sounds stupid, huh?
It is. It's really stupid.
Yeah,
When we
it
really-
is, but
Oh man.
if you think about it, this idea doesn't quite work. According to Flatzoid, if you had an orange in the air and let it go, it should float up because the air above it is lighter.
No, never ever said that. So nice lying to your children about what I say as well. Nice. That's
yeah,
what,
this is what you meant. So I'm gonna talk about what you meant instead of what you said, right? Yeah.
this is why I said that social experiment I brought out shows exactly the dishonesty of the people. He's
Yeah.
insinuating things I've never said. He's making things shit up to say on my behalf what I never said.
Exactly. Because that's the only way he can
Misrepresenting
make you slip because you're good at it. Yeah. And God forbid you ever make a mistake, right? I mean, you know what I mean? It's like,
So yeah, can we all call Now Opinion out as a liar? Yes, we can. Because we caught him out lying about 2 to 3 things that I've never said yet already, and it's only been 5 minutes. Well
Yeah,
done,
I
Now
agree.
Opinion.
But that's not what's happening. The orange falls down. Why? Because of gravity. No, I mean gravity.
No, not because of gravity. My science experiment
Infinite
proved it was not gravity.
This shows us that it's not just about how heavy or light something is compared to its surroundings. Gravity plays a key role, pulling
then how does a
things
ship float in the
toward
ocean then? Yeah, I mean, come on, dude. I mean,
Yeah, it's very
you
slow.
have to. That would be my next question if I was a kid, and that's what I used to do. That's why I got in trouble at school, because I would ask those questions and the teacher didn't have an answer because they don't know. And I thought, well, how do you not understand all of this if you're teaching it to me? And they're like, well, I just learned about it right before I came into the class. I'm like, what?
Well, you see, I think that's the difference
that's
between
when you
these
get thrown
people. I think that's the difference between these people and a lot of us flat earthers. We were the people that actually questioned things in school.
Oh, yeah.
They just accepted.
Yep.
They were what
I
they
was
they.
thrown out.
they are
I
what-
would only
Thrown
argue
out
with stuff that
fast.
doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't just argue with everything like,
Obviously.
I understand things fall, right? We all understand there's a downward. But I mean, that's logical to me. I mean, I've grown up knowing that there's a down because I fall on my face all the time. You know what I mean? Like, I learned from a child, I've learned that whatever that pull is, whatever's pulling it down or whatever causes it to go down, it works. We don't know exactly what it is. I don't think anybody couldn't put a finger on what it is or how it works. We just know that there are principles and properties of it that are density and buoyancy. And this gravity thing is a theory that they've added to it, and then they've used all this math and all this other stuff to try to confuse you.
They tried.
That's why we say it's pseudoscience.
They tried to
'Cause
make
it's
it
based on
sound.
both.
They try to make it sound scientific. In the meantime, it's not.
Yes, they use big words. And yeah, exactly. Yep, they're actors.
Number 2, we do research. What was the research based on this
Oh boy,
phenomenon?
please.
The research
Show
tells
us.
us that the cause for this falling acceleration is from the concept named gravity. This concept is very vague and has no actual definition or cause for its origins. There is 2 explanations of this. Newtonian gravity, it's a force. And Einsteinian gravity, it's not a force. Weird as they both
So which is
contradict one
right?
another, but want to be used in the same pond.
He says that the
Right.
gravity is very vague as a concept and no one knows what it is. Even
Yeah, no one does.
They don't.
No one does know what gravity is.
Ask them.
You'll
Go
be
and
the-
ask them.
you'll be the
I've
f-
asked professors, and they laugh.
Yeah.
They laugh at me. They're like, I don't know.
This guy will be the
No
first
idea.
person in history to know what gravity is. No one knows what gravity is. That's the whole reason why it's said that way. Yeah. Can anybody yet tell
Well,
me
I've heard
what's
some
what's
good
gravity?
explanations. But
What's gravity, guys?
I don't know.
Yeah,
me.
exactly. No one
The
knows.
tendency for things to go in one direction and not another. That's all I can explain it. That's only. I mean, how else do you explain it? I mean, I know density and buoyancy, but I mean, we all understand those parts. But there's something else going on too. We don't know about. It's either some kind of static charge or something. We don't. But there has to be a down, right? Like if you think about it, Like in order for us to like move around on the ground and everything like that, just think about it. You'd have to have an up and a down. Otherwise, you'd just kind of like be walking on the walls, and that doesn't make sense, right? So it makes sense that if a creator made this place, which is what I believe, I think that's pretty logical. Because, you know, I came from something that was alive, and so I think that intelligence comes from other intelligence, and life comes from life.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, my dog.
Gravity is used for downward acceleration when they don't even need to use that at all.
The thing is, yeah, gravity is not a force. That's what it's seen, not as force. But still, they can't decide what gravity is. They don't know what gravity is. They know the causes of gravity. You know, what does gravity cause? That's what they can say. But they don't know what gravity is. He'll be the first person in history to say what gravity is. But let's see if he's going to correct her, though. If he's going to say what it is. Let's see.
Even though people have studied it since the days of Newton.
Another proposed argument.
That's it. That's his answer, guys. No, people know what it is because people studied it since the days of Newton. Oh, the ignorance.
Yep, I think that Apple knocked him
So
out.
hand wave dismissal. That was his answer.
That's it, yeah.
Notice that if he did have an answer, he would have given an answer for it. He didn't have an answer.
It must have been a coconut tree for him to come up with that bloody idea. I mean, it wasn't an apple. It must have been a coconut that hit him in the nut.
Is relative density disequilibrium. This postulation is based upon the uneven distribution ratio of the object and the medium that it is submerged.
Why is he forwarding this? He can let me say gravity slow, but he can't let me give a concise statement about relative density disequilibrium. That's a bit biased, don't you think?
Absolutely.
Don't you want your daughter to hear this? Don't you want her to understand what's going on, our opinion?
The object's ratio depends on the medium determined by the relative.
Alright, so he has basically...
And he doesn't let me finish saying it. Let's see if he's actually going to support what I say, or is he going to change what I say like he's been doing this whole time?
Continues to talk about what relative density disequilibrium is. In a vacuum chamber, a bowling ball...
Nope, he won't even go and finish my statement. Hey Carl, good to see you, mate. Thanks for coming. In a vacuum chamber, what's the red flag there, guys, for gravity? Oh, I know. What did he manipulate in a vacuum? The medium.
Yeah, always.
You didn't manipulate gravity, you manipulated the medium. So guess what? You took the friction away, so therefore mass doesn't matter in a vacuum, so therefore not mass attracting mass. Hey Moomin Rider, good to see you, mate. That's why the bowling ball that has much more mass than the feather are able to what? Accelerate at the same rate. Why? Uneven distribution of the masses. In other words, they apply the same amount of force relative to the medium around them. No mass attraction of mass. You took the only thing away that's able to support it away.
And the feather falls at the same rate. Please explain that, Flatzoid.
I just did. Oh, okay.
Number 3, we create the hypothesis. Since the consensus is based on gravity, we will hypothesize and experiment on them first.
Alright, so he just says, here is my hypothesis for standard gravity, and here is my hypothesis for the weird, strange version of gravity that I just made up.
Number...
What? What? Did I make up gravity strange? Let's see, what does it say here? Since the consensus is based on gravity, blah, blah, blah. Let's start with Newtonian gravity. Is anything here out of whack with what Newtonian gravity says? That's specifically what Newtonian gravity states.
It looks good to me.
Yes, I didn't make shit up.
Create the hypothesis. Since the consensus is based on gravity, we will hypothesize and experiment on them first.
Alright, so he just says, here is my hypothesis for standard gravity, and here is my hypothesis for the weird, strange version of gravity that I just made up.
Number 4, make a prediction.
Oh, so I made Newtonian gravity up, apparently, guys. I made Newtonian gravity up.
You made it. Oh, right. Okay. Right. Nothing to do with Newton.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
If I remove the mass of the object, in this case the peel around the orange, in the fish tank it will show, based upon the postulation, the orange will have less mass and thus have less attractive force. This postulates that the orange will either remain at the same position or it will go up as the counterbalance forces will be stronger.
As he says that he would remove the peel of the orange, and he says that now he has removed some mass, and that will make it less mass and that will float up. That's what he thinks.
That's based on Newtonian gravity, yes. Mass attracting mass. The more mass attraction you have. Removing mass means less mass of attraction, so therefore the buoyant force would be stronger and push the orange up. Guess what happened? It did opposite to that.
Obviously, we know that in this case, mass has nothing to do with it. It is the density change that has something to do with it.
Yes! Relative density disequilibrium. He just said it, guys. Mass has nothing to do with it. Hallelujah!
And they say it themselves, but they can't even say it. It's crazy.
He doesn't
It's
get what
crazy.
he just said. Wait, we have to repeat this again. Listen.
This has nothing to do with it.
What? He actually conceded.
Less mass and that will float up. That's
As a concession.
Yeah, it's a concession. Listen to his words.
what he thinks.
It is a concession, but he wants it as one.
Yeah, but listen.
Obviously, we know that in this case, mass has nothing to do with it. It is the density change that has something to do with it.
Yes! Yes! Welcome to Flat Earth, no opinion. Brilliant. Brilliant. Yes, I 100% concur. Mass attraction has nothing to do with it. It's got to do with the density ratios.
And that's definitely a concession, but he's not going to make up some excuse for that. That's crazy.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just
So,
don't understand
gravity
the-
went on vacation, exactly. Hey, Debatable D, what's up, man? No opinion. Wow.
And they say it in the statements, and they don't even realize they've said it.
But you can see he it's almost like he knows what he's saying.
Yeah, his eyes are a bit funny there. Aren't they? It's like, ooh, what did you say?
And she's
Next
sitting
one.
there all blank, not even understanding a word he's saying.
It's kind of like if you place a bowling ball in water, it will sink.
Yes, well done. Bowling ball in water will sink. Yeah. Great. So not because of mass attracting mass then.
And then if you cut the bowling ball in half, it will float.
Yeah, because of displacement. Well done.
Exactly. Is that what he thinks?
Yeah, like a tiny rock. Like that will still sink. If you cut the rock in half, it will still not float.
Totally misrepresentation, but okay. It's called
Yeah.
Well,
displacement.
yeah,
but don't worry.
that's the big trick there.
But don't worry, I'm
That's how-
still going to get to that point because I even have the bowling ball flattened out as one of my examples.
He should be correcting that because that's her understanding of it. He
That's
should be correcting
exactly the
that.
point. What I'm saying, he's got a bias. So he's
Yeah.
literally indoctrinating her, not
Yeah.
giving her the actual argument and letting her misrepresent it because that's what she believes it to be because that's how he's explaining it to her. So he's literally teaching her wrong.
It will still sink because there is no air pocket in them.
Oh my goodness.
Really?
This is the orange. Let's submerge it in the water.
Let's go to experimentation.
Yes. Is an orange.
No, it's the
It's
golden
just
god.
orange.
Orange.
Yeah.
Oh, now they're copying me. Okay, nice.
No, I think
Welcome
they're snuffing on you or whatever you want to call them.
Back to the test lab. Today we're going to see if this orange can defy gravity. It won't, but we're gonna test it anyway. What do you think will happen?
So now he's going to
We put this-
show what we showed in the beginning to prove that he's full of it. But that's funny.
Yeah.
He does it backwards.
Yeah,
That's
but
weird.
let's see if he's gonna actually keep to the scientific method that I was keeping to.
It's into the pot of water.
As you can see, it is floating. This is a bit counterintuitive, as you would think this is the structure where it has the most mass.
I don't understand. How is this counterintuitive?
How's it counterintuitive? I don't know. More mass, floating. Less mass, sinking.
Yeah.
Counterintuitive. That's what it means.
Wow. Like not understanding his law. Wow.
Oh. Hey Orbital, thank you for coming. Wow.
Some things float, Flatzoid.
Maybe it could be the air bubbles in the pores that's holding this up. Let's clean the air bubbles off. See, we're cleaning it off, making sure that there is no air bubbles in, just as the control says. Nope, it's still seeming
Note that he didn't show the part where I stated the controls and everything.
to float.
Wait. Does he think that the air bubbles are on the orange?
No, really? Orange peels have little air pockets, as you just said previously with the stone, little girl. Oh man. You see, this is when he's supposed to actually correct and say yes, lovey. There's air pockets in the peel, lovey. That's why he's taking all the air out so it can be able to sink. No. What's he doing? Watching misrepresent me, probably.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to know that the this orange skin is holding the air within the orange.
Yes, he does. Oh my goodness! Wow, you're not. Give it a chance and watch it while you do it.
Sorry, has anybody got an orange with them?
No.
Okay, well, just imagine, or let's actually go look. I want to show.
Man, it's just like an egg. They are both not so, they're both full of holes.
Let's see if we can get a nice orange peel.
Yeah.
And let's zoom in to that orange peel.
If you squeeze an orange peel,
It looks like it looks like bad skin,
Yeah.
People say orange skin because it looks like skin going bad.
Yeah, it's like a pimple. You squeeze it and it squirts up liquid and air.
Yeah.
Okay, what are these little perforations in there? These little, looks like dents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's on the outside of the peel, correct?
Yep.
Okay, what's in the middle of the inside of the peel there, guys?
Pith.
Almost like just a kind of hair.
It's like spongy kind of. Yeah. Like a fleshy.
You can say cork-like kind of thing.
Yeah.
When an orange is closed, where's the air bubbles going to be on the orange peel? On the outside.
On the outside, yeah. Of course.
So I cleaned the air bubbles on the outside away. Now he's saying no, it has the air trapped on the inside of the peel. Okay.
What do you think will happen when we remove the peel, which is removing the
mass?
It's floating.
It's floating.
Okay.
Very well.
Nice.
And the reason it floats is because the orange is less dense than the water. The main reason.
So not gravity then. Oh wow. Okay.
Why the orange is less dense is because of all the air pockets that is created by the peel of the orange.
Yes,
and that's why I cleaned it off, correct, guys?
Yeah.
That's why I cleaned the air out of the air pockets of the orange
And look at him
peel.
again. Right? Yes.
Right?
The poor girl, she just says what he wants her to, yeah.
Exactly.
She doesn't even understand it.
Skin.
Yeah, the orange skin. In a way, you could say that the skin of the orange is actually the life vest of the orange. Right? So what do you think will happen if we remove the life vest?
Notice on my experiment it showed it floating still, remember? Until I removed the air pockets from inside the orange and then it sunk. Remember? That's why I let it first. That's why I first did it the way I did.
Yep.
So where was the life jacket when it was floating without the orange pill, Mr. Now Opinion? Hey, the prince, good to see you.
Well, without a life vest, you just sink.
If you take off the life vest, you sink, you say.
See, I'm cutting the peel off, and we're going to peel it off so it has less mass. So
Less mass?
less mass, based on the gravity postulation, would mean that the orange should now float easier or less sub.
The prince says that wasn't an experiment. The prince, would you be able to go and tell everybody how it wasn't science, please? How it was an experiment. Go ahead. This should be interesting.
Merged. Let's see what's going to happen when I've taken the peel off, which is now making it less mass and sticking it back into the water. Just waiting for me to pull all the extra mass off. There we go. Looks nice and clean. Let's drop it in. Oh boy, we're already seeing.
So it's floating, guys.
Yep.
I took the life jacket off, correct?
Yep.
Weird. So in other words, life jacket wasn't the reason for floating.
An issue. It seems to be lower. There's an issue here. Less mass means it's gone lower. Maybe there's some air bubbles still in. Let's just clean it off again to give it control. Okay, got rid of all the air bubbles inside, which would give it buoyancy.
Good with a knife. I've done knife things before.
Have you done
How did I use a flawed methodology? Prince, would be nice for you to explain to us.
life things before?
Oh, that sounds satisfying. This is the peel.
No, really.
It's appealing.
Ah.
It had a weird little butt here. A weird orange butt.
Oh, like if kids are watching this, they will laugh because you said butt.
Yeah, kids are weird.
Hey.
Hey, you're a kid. Okay, so we have removed the life vest of the orange. Would you do the honors and putting it into the water, please?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so the moment.
Bye bye.
It sunk like
Like Titanic.
Titanic. Oops, don't say that. It sank like a rock, right?
Yeah, like.
I'm sorry, what is he disagreeing with me on my scientific experiment? Because everything he's done, he's just replicated my scientific experiment, correct?
Mm-hmm.
The prince says your scientific method was wrong to the point of I thought you were trolling. How was it wrong? You say it's wrong, then explain how it's wrong. That's how it usually works. You don't just say it's wrong and say nothing about it.
Like a rock.
So, all of a sudden, the orange became more dense because we removed the life jacket. We removed all of the air bubbles. However, here's also an orange.
I've got to ask you something. How does it become more dense when you remove mass? Well, what is density again? Mass over volume, correct? So less mass means less density. Yet he's saying it was denser now when I removed the mass.
He did.
So
He
he
did.
contradicted what density is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for Christmas, we put a lot of what do you call it?
Cloves.
Lilies.
Cloves.
Christmas thingies.
Christmas flowers, dried Christmas flowers.
Cloves.
Dried Christmas flowers, guys.
It looks like cloves. Yeah.
Yeah, but Spuddy, that's the whole point here. Telling me I'm wrong while literally validating everything I say.
Yeah,
No,
do not.
You It's crazy.
This particular orange,
I want to know, why is he adding that to the orange? Is that part of the scientific experiment that we're doing? Has those cloves got anything to do with what was hypothesized and experimented on?
No.
No. Huh.
Oh, for goodness sake.
only has those flowers on one side. This would be how Flatzoid would see it. He would say it's more mass on this side of the orange, so this would be drawn down.
No. That's another lie. Totally misrepresenting again. And based on the hypothesis, you added more mass, so therefore it should be sinking, correct? Then again, making my point, it's just displacement. So not mass attracting mass, you total ignorant buffoon. Wow.
To the ground. Let's see if Flatzoid's deduction is correct. Let's have a look.
Okay, what deduction? I didn't make that deduction, idiot. Did anybody hear me make that deduction that he just said?
No.
No. So, again, insinuating things, making points on my behalf.
And
Okay, so maybe it's just a fluke, but the things with the flower on went down. I'm just gonna turn it around here and say, gonna make it stick here now. Bloink. What? Okay, if I do like this. Whatever I do, it seems like the gravity is pushing the...
Gravity's not anything to do with it. It's called unbalanced. Does this guy understand how balancing works?
Doesn't look like it.
This is sad. Hey Rachie, good to see you. Where's Wally? Hello.
The orange down, the side of the orange that has these flowers here. Is that the actual cause of it? No, of course not. That's Flatzoid thinking.
No. No, you making things up on my behalf. Making my point again why I brought the Kubrick video out. For people like you that just make things up on my behalf, insinuating things, saying things on my behalf. You know what that's called? That's called lying. That's called dishonesty.
It's bearing full fruitness.
Obviously, the correct answer is that here we have punctured all the air bubbles. We have sort of taken away the life vest function on this side of the orange, and that's why it's not functioning.
So my point then. What is my point again? Oh wait, displacement of the object and medium ratio, not mass attracting mass then. Wow. Still making my point without realizing it. Well done.
As well in this side of the orange, and that's why it's behaving like this. I just wanted to add that obviously if you add more mass on the one side of the orange, much more mass, that side will obviously
flip over.
He did say gravity pushes, correct, and that's false because gravity is not a force and gravity can't push. Gravity's supposed to pull, apparently, when it was seen as a force. But it's not a force, so it can't push or pull or anything. Oh, wow.
Flip over and won't float as good, obviously.
Then we move on to analyze the results. After doing the experiment, we were able to observe that mass is not the cause for the acceleration between two masses.
Alright, now he's gonna spend some time on analyzing the results and coming up with his erroneous conclusions. So we're gonna...
Wow. So everything I've said so far based on relative density disequilibrium, he forwards, misrepresents what I said, and now with the analyzation of the experiment, he says it's erroneous and forwards it as well. That's very honest of you.
Leave him there.
Then we can move on to systematic experimentation. We can do this experiment in many different ways, such as changing not the object's mass, but the medium's density. We can use different density ratios and objects. We can use different types of liquids. We can change the temperature of the medium or object. At the end of the day, it comes down to proving the cause for the effect observed.
But here's interesting. Here it comes to his 7th point of his own scientific method. Systematic experimentation.
Own. No, systematic experimentation is part of the scientific method. Does he not know this? Does he not understand that you do systematic experimentation? As soon as you've done it and people doing their peer review and they're testing it out themselves, you do systematic experimentation. Does he not know this? Sorry, but guys, I have to be blunt. Now opinion is ignorant to science. Totally.
Please do be blunt.
He says, we can use different density ratios on objects.
For a different experiment. That's what's called systematic experimentation. You know what systematic means now, opinion?
We can use different types of liquid. But does he do that? No.
I said you can move on to systematic experimentation. Wow, that looks freaky though. Look at that. What the hell happened there? Look at his eyes.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Wow.
Is that just a glitch or?
I think maybe the other one's got a reflection in the glass, and that one's sort of maybe not. I don't know.
Wow. That's quite freaky.
It is a little bit, yeah.
Do we do that? What do you think? Does this float?
It doesn't look like that. It has air bubbles.
It doesn't have air bubbles,
And
right?
it's kind of hard.
It's kind of hard, yeah. So the peel here might not act as a life vest. But since it's floating anyway...
So it's floating. Okay. Are you going to remove mass now?
The apple obviously is less dense than the water. Let's see what happens if we remove the peel. Would you like to do it?
Yes. Bye,
I'll
peel.
now remove the peel here as well. I'm not sure it's the same as the orange, but would you like to give it a go?
Yep, I'm gonna. It still floats.
has several pieces of apple.
So if you didn't forward the parts where I explained it's just the displacement ratio between the medium and the object, you would know this kept totally 100% with my scientific analysis. The guy doesn't understand the apple as a whole is still less dense than the medium, and therefore the displacement ratio makes it float. The guy is very dishonest because now he's trying to say, you see, apple, even though I remove it, it's floating now. Just because he's dishonest and not able to show what the analysis says, he's now trying to make it out that I am wrong. Well, this 100% agrees with everything I've said. This whole video that he's done agrees with what I've said. Really odd.
It still floats.
It floats?
It still floats.
Nice.
We move on to 8, which you guys are doing right now. Peer review.
Yeah, peer review. I mean, in his world, peer review means that anyone with a YouTube account could peer review a scientific experiment.
Again, it's insinuating things. I've never ever said that. Anybody can do peer review. You just have to take it and do the test yourself. That's it. You take the data shown and you do the test yourself. That's peer review. When did I ever say that you have to have a YouTube account? PJ, did I tell you to have a YouTube account before you could review this?
No.
Well, how about you, Ryan? Or Dislord? Any of you guys that I say have a YouTube account, please, before you can peer review this?
What's that again?
Did I tell you to have a YouTube account before you can peer review my experiment?
No.
Oh, exactly. Oh, so I don't know what the hell he's talking about. I know, he's making shit up.
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
Normally, that's
I
not
think
really how it...
I remember him from. Have we watched this guy before?
No, it's the first
Yeah.
time
I said I didn't know him, but I have seen his face about in something, so I must.
Yeah, I think I've seen his face in something.
Yeah.
I'm
He
I'm
looks
trying to figure
familiar,
out if
but I
he's
don't think it was on
Swedish.
my channel.
Is he
though.
Swedish or?
I said he sounds
Finnish or Swedish
Austrian.
or something?
I said he sounds almost Austrian.
Yeah. If it has to be German, it has to be Austrian for sure.
Yeah.
German or Finnish, I can't really figure it out.
Yeah, Skeptic, you see, the thing today is peer review has become consensus-based. It's become a money grab thing. The actual scientific method when it came to peer review was just so people can see the data and test it for themselves. That's actually what it used to be. But today's pseudoscientific belief system, they've hijacked it and it's become all about consensus and money. That's why you get idiotic things like gravity going through peer review when there hasn't even been science for gravity. That's why they have orbital mechanics and stuff for things that's never been proven. They wanted the stuff to work because they have consensus about it. But there is no science for it, but they claim it to have science. Why? It's all just about
Someone's
the
being
money.
funny in the chat, huh?
I know what you mean. You mean the prince?
Hey,
The
Shafiaz.
key ring.
Good
Yeah.
to see you.
Oh,
And key ring.
okay.
He's usually this way though.
I had myself muted, so just so now everybody's listening.
Key ring's
I think
usually
I was
like
just
that.
talking to the air for a while, you know.
Yeah, I think the prince is somebody that's already been banned. You know what I mean? He pretty much admitted it earlier.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's a very dumb thing to write, you know.
Yeah, no, he made it to Reggie. So
How it works, it's
he's
accredited
obviously somebody
scientists
been banned before.
that sit down and
Nope, no science for gravity. And also telling me I never made measurements is bullshit. Sorry guys, did we look at the different levels of how the orange went up and down? That's a measurement, guys.
and do that. And I don't think that the entire YouTube world, especially not the flat Earth world on YouTube, are accredited scientists. But I guess that you and me are on the same level.
Also, I want to know, what the hell is an accredited scientist? Who determines if you're accredited scientist or not? Because anybody can do science. It's just
If
a
you
method.
are being credited.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
a
like-
method. As soon as you
Credit
become,
into
yeah,
anything.
as soon as you become accredited scientist, it's no longer science.
Yeah, can I just say, whoever's trolling Vicky and making socks up with black eyes and stuff, do you know what I mean? PJ's punching bag. If you want to troll her on your normal account so you can see who he is.
Yeah, be a man.
Yeah, stop being a coward.
Yeah, be a man, guys.
Credited is also paid. So you are.
Exactly.
It can mean different things.
Idiot. I mean, look at the little black eye. Come on. That's ridiculous.
Yes, as Flatzoid. So we will now do the peer review and we will redo your experiment, Flatzoid.
You just did. Didn't he just do it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they did it. And it did exactly what I said would happen.
And
Using.
an orange.
Yes.
Yes, maybe you should
The
accept that
godly
the apple is not a very dense fruit.
Yeah.
It has lots of...
Now let's put in the orange. See what some people. Oh,
Uh-oh.
Right.
some people think that this would have happened with the apple,
No,
but it didn't.
no one said
It does
that.
not.
Did any of us say that would happen? And why wouldn't we say that would happen? Oh, I don't know, because if the guy actually showed my analysis and everything that I said, you would understand why that happened.
What we can say is the densest fruit is not floating. What a revelation.
Yep.
Okay,
now-
back to the studio. So, we have followed the scientific method, both the real one and Flatzoid's version. And in both cases, yeah, good catch. we proved that gravity is still a thing. Now, what do we usually say? Thanks for watching.
Gravity's a thing. Wally did every single thing that I did and replicated every single thing I did and
Yeah.
just said, nah.
Yep.
He's a thing.
I got no
Shit.
words.
That's the only thing that makes sense. He's a thing.
Oh, wow.
There's a few concessions in there as well, but like I say, they'll never recognise it as a concession.
No. But wow. I'm glad I actually came and saw that video now. Hopefully he will actually do a response to it.
Yes, he will.
But we'll see what he says. Okay. So we got 2 more. I don't know, you want to do this one from Rachel where she tried to debunk my experiment, or the one where she's trying to do acceleration upwards? Earth thing, whatever, I don't know.
I'm easy, bro. Just got nip to the toilet though.
You choose.
I think let's do this one because I said I'm going to respond to it sometime.
So your control variables. Number 1, water kept at a constant temperature. You didn't measure the temperature, Flatzoid. So that's an assumption.
Nope, not an assumption. Okay, first of all, no, water kept at a constant temperature is not an assumption. It was kept at room temperature, Rachie. When you do something at room temperature, like water, it usually stays at room temperature. Has anybody seen water change colder or hotter when at room temperature?
Seen it change?
Yeah. Does water temperature change when it's at room temperature? Maybe Rachie doesn't understand how thermodynamics works. So yeah, Rachie, you're already wrong there. Well done. That's called clutching at straws, by the way.
Number 2, water level stays constant. Let's see. If we look at this green thing over here, we can see the water level before the orange is added. Oh, now half of the green thing is missing. Now the orange has been added. Oh, now we can see more of the green thing.
By the way, Rachie, did I change the water level? Or did the object displace the water? Can anyone answer that? I can answer that. It displaced it. Yeah, so did I change the water level? Or did I keep the water level constant and the object displaced? So Rachie doesn't even understand. So Rachie doesn't even understand how displacement works. Well done, Rachie.
What on the right?
Now I got another question for her. If I did this now in a bath, which is a bigger container, would the displacement be enough to be able to change the quote-unquote water level in the bath?
Very little. It
won't. Exactly.
Yeah.
Now notice, if I was changing the water level, I would have added more water or removed more water. Did I do that, guys?
No.
Nope.
I kept the water level constant.
I mean, who hasn't been in a bathtub before? Who has not been in a bathtub before?
Yeah.
You know you can't fill it all up to the top. And when you did as a kid, because you didn't know any better, you flooded the whole bathroom and you were in trouble with grandma, you know? That's what I did.
I think that's how
I learned it the hard way.
I think that's how the way the human head.
I flooded the bathroom twice.
I'll be
I think that's how the way the human head, isn't it? If it's still attached to the body, water displacement.
Yeah.
It's only way you could weigh the human head attached to the body.
Yeah, man. I didn't get it as a boy, but who does do that?
Force into it. Oh, these bloody pipes.
I mean, put a bowling ball in a bucket of water and see what happens.
Yeah, it's
Sorry about that. Okay, so yeah, so she's got the water temperature wrong and the water level. Okay, next.
So yeah, your water level didn't stay constant, did it, Flatzoid?
This is the orange. Let's submerge it in the water.
So 1004 submerged.
As you can see, it is floating. This is a bit counterintuitive, as you would think this is the structure where it has the most mass. So therefore it would be needing to attract to the Earth, which would be the larger mass. Maybe it could be the air bubbles in the pores that's holding this up. Let's clean.
So you gave it till 10:28. So 24 seconds.
Rachie, notice that this was sped up footage. This was an edited video, Rachie. You of all people should know people edit videos for YouTube. This times you are taking is based on edited footage. Sped up and edited.
The air bubbles off. See, we're cleaning it off, making sure that there is no air bubbles in, just as the
So let's say 32.
See what I'm saying?
control says.
So she's taking time on edited footage that is sped up.
Nope, it's still seeming to float. So definitely not the air bubbles holding the orange up.
Yeah, this is called clutching at straws, just to let you know, Rachie. This is what happens when you can't accept the scientific method shows your beloved gravity wrong.
What do you think will happen when we remove the peel, which is removing
Which you gave to 51. So you gave 19 seconds that time.
the mass? See, I'm cutting the peel off and we're going to peel it off so it has less mass. So less mass based on the gravity postulation would mean that the orange should now float easier or be even less submerged. Let's see what's going to happen when I've taken the peel off, which is now making it less mass and sticking it back into the water.
Moon River, if you take that orange and weigh it on a scale with the peel, does it weigh more than when I've taken the peel off? Has anybody got an answer for that?
It weighs more when with the peel on it.
Ah, yeah. So more mass then, correct?
Yeah.
Ah, yeah. Okay. So, when they say you've reduced the volume and therefore the density has changed, it's not mass attracting mass, you complete morons. Making my point. It's displacement. I don't know how to make this so plain and simple for these people. It's literally, they are literally like retarded people. Sorry, retarded people are actually more intelligent than this. If you're saying it's not mass attracting mass, it's not mass attracting mass. How much more simple can I make it? Anybody else explain it to these people?
I don't know how you could make it simpler.
It's not possible.
Even with
They
cranes.
just don't have the receptor.
Even with cranes, yeah.
They just don't have the receptor.
I mean, it's so simple. If your argument is mass attracts mass, that's gravity, and then your whole argument is based on no, but you changed the density.
Oh no.
So the required effect was based on the density ratio change, not the mass attracting mass, so therefore not gravity. I don't know how much more simple I can make it for these people. If they're still too stupid to understand this, I literally wonder how they get up in the morning and tie their own shoes. Hey, John, Flat at Travolta, good to see you, man. Thank you for coming. Glad you can make it.
Just waiting for me to pull all the extra mass off. There we go. Looks nice and clean, you see. Let's drop it in.
So 37.
Oh boy, we already see
Again, taking time on an edited and changed speed video. Well done, Rachie.
an issue. It seems to be lower. There's an issue here. Less mass means it's gone lower. Maybe
to 44. So 7 seconds.
Some air bubbles still in, but just clean it off again to give it control.
So 46.
Okay, got rid of all the air bubbles inside, which would give it buoyancy.
I see you didn't ignore buoyancy there, but you do ignore buoyancy and what the buoyancy formula is.
Now we've taken that...
No, I don't. Again. Archimedes' principle. Say it again with me, people. Archimedes' principle has absolutely nothing to do with gravity. Gravity came 1,900 years later, after Archimedes' principle was postulated. And to top it all off, that G you place there cannot work because gravity is not a force. Gravity not a force means gravity has got nothing to do with Archimedes' principle. It never has and never will. Just because you place G into an equation doesn't make it so. Sorry to break it to you, globetards, but your pixie fairy dust religion does not hold true to reality. Ships did work with Archimedes' principle because of displacement, not because of beloved gravity. That's not a force. Simple.
air bubbles out, it seems to have sunk. So this doesn't show a great result for gravity, does it?
Rachie, this is your homework. Show us Archimedes' principal equation where G was put in before G was even postulated. Good luck. Notice that this has to be 1,900 years before gravity was postulated with your beloved G in. Go ahead, show it to us, please.
Does it? This shows strictly that it's the displacement of the object to the medium. This has been shown now.
Well, that's paused, isn't it? So 46 to 11.
Still
So about 25 seconds.
Still taking time on an edited video that is sped up. This is how ignorant the person is, trying to clutch at straws.
Relative density disequilibrium.
Relative density disequilibrium. How do you know that, Flatzoid? You didn't...
How do I know that? By doing a scientific experiment, and if you actually went through the analysis and everything, you would see it came up to relative density disequilibrium. How was that postulated? Oh, I don't know, because it was the density ratios, the displacement, just shown by now opinion as well. How do we know this? Science, Rachie. That's it, my dear, science.
measure the density of the medium or the density of the object before or after taking off the peel or anything. You didn't measure the density of anything.
Oh, so the orange is the same density as the water, Rachie? Last time I checked, the orange is denser than the water. You do know this, right? Anybody here? Was the orange denser than the water? Aye. Remember, the argument wasn't what is the density ratios. The argument was mass attracting mass. That was the hypothesis. The hypothesis was shown false thanks to the experiment, which then concluded that it was the density ratios displacement. Now again, when I said you can do systematic experimentation, you can go and measure the different densities if you really want to, Rachie. The fact is, the hypothesis was for mass attracting mass. You fighting for density changing means it's not mass attracting mass. A bit slow on the uptake, yeah.
You didn't measure anything. Just assuming and confirming your confirmation bias.
Sorry, guys, what did I assume and affirm a confirmation bias? Can anybody tell me? Did we say mass attracting mass? That was the hypothesis, correct? Did mass attract mass?
No.
So how am I affirming the consequent if my hypothesis was strictly against what was shown? Wow. It's idiotic. You can't have a affirming confirmation bias if it does opposite of what your hypothesis was.
Then we move on.
Okay, so he says, analyse the results. After doing the experiment, we were able to observe the mass is not the cause for the acceleration between the two masses, but the ratio of displacement between them.
Mm-hmm.
So the ratio of displacement, not the ratio of the densities. You didn't even measure displacement either, Flat.
Oh, really? You just showed us the displacement of the water when I put the orange in, with the peel and without the peel, did it not? Did she not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rocket science, Richie.
Yeah. This is, did you see, this is them clutching at straws and trying to protect their beloved religion of gravity without knowing that when they open their mouth, they are literally throwing their religion in the dustbin.
You didn't measure anything, displacement or density of anything.
Hmm.
So no, that's your conclusion that you've jumped to.
No, that was the shown conclusion. That was measured. Did I take mass away, people?
Yeah.
Did it go down or up? It went down.
Yeah.
And did the displacement ratio change when I changed its volume? Yes.
Yeah.
So that's not just an assumption and affirming the concept. That's an observed phenomena done using an experiment. It's selective attraction, exactly.
Selective attraction, I was just about to say that.
This has shown that the ratio between an object and the medium rely solely on one another, and the relationship of direction between the two is dependent on the displacement relationship. Again, you didn't measure that, did you?
Yes, we did. Remove mass, change the volume, it went down. That's called measurement, is it not? Heck, now Pinion did it with a apple and validated the experiment again by having an apple that is much less denser than the orange. So therefore, removing more mass made it even less denser. And guess what? They changed the volume. And it still floated. So not mass attracting mass.
This shows that if the medium is able to support the object based on the displacement, it will direct the object to the relative density equilibrium point and thus sit at a rest until acted upon by a force. Again, you didn't measure anything, did you, Flats?
Yes, we did. It moved. You are able to measure its direction and magnitude. It's called video footage.
The uneven distribution of the object and the medium is what causes the movement, and thus it entirely has proven to manifest its own fictitious force.
Mm-hmm.
This determination keeps with Newton's second law of motion.
Yes.
Also, fictitious forces can cause objects to accelerate now.
Yes. Because it's a force. Last time I checked, fictitious force requires an actual force to accelerate, correct? So F equals ma. There's an acceleration of the object, so therefore there's a force. What caused this force, guys? Oh, like I said, the uneven distribution between the mass and the medium. The medium was not able to support it, so it accelerated. There's a force. Gravity's not a force. So guess what gravity can't do, Rachie? Cause the object to accelerate.
Then Flats. You're debunking yourself all over again in all ways. On the do your research part, it says, if the medium is able to support the object's displacement, it will accelerate upwards until it finds its relative equilibrium state.
Mm-hmm.
Why would it need supporting, Flatzoid? If the
Telling me I'm debunked myself and then saying if it goes, why would it need supporting? Oh, I don't know. Maybe you need legs to support yourself. Do you lie on a bed that supports you, PJ or this Lord or whatever? If you lie in a bed, is the bed supporting you?
It certainly is. If it wasn't there, I would not be floating.
Yeah, you're not be on a bed, correct? You'll then have the next best thing would be the floor, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, let's say you jumped in the air. Would the air around you support you?
No.
No. Huh. So, you would need something to support you, in other words.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now let's stick you in. You know those wind tunnels that the people use for practicing skydiving.
Yeah.
That the air pushes them up, and they're supported
Mhm.
by the air. Is the air supporting them? Yeah. Now what happens when you
Oh.
put that machine off? They
Then
fall.
the air on them. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Interesting. So everything I've said can be scientifically validated and observed non-stop. Weird how that works. With actual demonstration.
Medium is able to support the object's displacement, it will accelerate upwards until it finds its relative equilibrium state. Why would it need supporting, Flatzoid?
I just told you.
Well, that may be your prediction, Flatzoid, but it's wrong, isn't it? Because buoyancy is a thing, you know?
Buoyancy, so not gravity then. Welcome to reality, Richie. And make a prediction was part of the scientific method. The prediction is based on what would happen if you had the results. That's what a prediction. It's not my prediction. It's based on the prediction based on the experiment, Rachie.
And buoyancy is rho GV, where rho is the density of the medium, g is 9.81 meters per second squared.
Okay, again, Rachie, this is your homework. I want you to show everybody here how Archimedes' principle had g in his equation 1,900 years before g was even postulated. And then you can go and explain to everybody how not a force gravity can do anything to a mass. Go ahead.
And v is the volume. So, yeah, your prediction is totally a straw man, and you're not including buoyancy in this.
Really, not including buoyancy. If I remove the mass of an object, in this case the peel around the orange in the fish tank, it will show, based on the postulation, the orange will have less mass and thus less force. That's buoyancy. What's going on? This postulates that the orange will either remain at the same position or go up as the counterbalance forces. Sorry, what is the counterbalance forces, guys? Last time I checked, that's buoyancy, correct? So she can't only not read, she doesn't understand what's written there. Thank you, Flat Earth Travolta, for your $2 super chat, man. You rock. I really appreciate you, man. He says, Wiggles measured the Earth. I'm so excited to see. Did he measure the Earth now? Wiggles?
Apparently he measured the radius.
What?
Yeah.
He measured it or calculated it? You have to be very specific here. You have to be very specific here, Wiggles. Did you measure it or calculate it? And that would be great if you want to present. Then we can all check this measured radius. I'll be excited to see measured Earth.
Which, by the way, the globe and all scientists claim that buoyancy is the reason things go up.
Or appeal to consensus and authority now. Again, 1,900 years before postulation of gravity says bullshit. And again, gravity's not a force. So guess what? You can take that G and go stick it somewhere else. Does he think 9.8 meters per second squared means gravity? Or is that just acceleration measured, guys? It's a measured acceleration as far as I heard. Not gravity. Why do they guys always want to false equivocate 9.8 meters per second squared as gravity? That is not gravity. That's acceleration. You claiming acceleration is gravity, then I got no hope for you.
Not just because it's less mass. On another one of your control variables, you say remove air pockets on the exterior of the orange. What about air pockets within the orange peel?
I'm sorry. Last time I checked, if an orange is sealed, it's a bit difficult to get inside the orange. Can you explain that one to me? How do you get inside the orange if it's sealed? Do you have any ideas, guys?
No.
Exactly. Shame.
Or underneath the orange peel, Flatzoid, like a life jacket.
Like a life jacket? Huh. Hey, Space Miner, good to see you, man. Thank you for coming. Glad you could make it. We're just showing the strawman ignorance of Rachie that really doesn't actually understand what the hell she's talking about. And the life jacket, as you put it, remember the air pockets are on the outside of the orange peel, not on the inside of the orange peel. Also note that it was mass. The argument for the experiment, the hypothesis was mass attracting mass. Where I failed to see in the hypothesis where I said anything to do with the density. But I do know the hypothesis was strictly mass attracting mass, and we did not see this. Ouch. Hey, Flat Earth Travolta, thank you very much for gifting 5 memberships, mate. Really appreciate your support. You're really a gift that keeps giving, man. You rock. Thank you very much. No, Rachie, projection's not strong tonight. Projection is nothing to do with it. Showing your ignorance is what's happening tonight. So again, you got homework, my dear. Show us Archimedes' principle with G in it, where it predated gravity's postulation by 1,900 years, and then go and show how a not forced gravity can cause things to accelerate. And then you can also go and show how you think acceleration of 9.8 meters per second squared is gravity. Because it's not, my dear. 2 different things. Acceleration is not gravity.
So you didn't take away the air that would be underneath the orange peel, trapped within the orange peel, did you?
How do you do that? I'm all ears, Rachie. Tell everybody here how you remove the air trapped inside the orange peel while it is sealed. More than happy to figure that out. Tell us. You're very clever.
Or underneath the orange peel, as a layer surrounding the orange and the orange peel.
Nah, last time I checked, the orange peel itself has pores on the outside, and the pores on the outside is where the air goes in. Remember why I removed the air on the outside of the orange peel, Rachie?
No, you didn't. So again, this is just a confirmation and shows that you don't actually know what you're doing when it comes to experimentation. You never once measured the mass to show that it was more mass or less mass.
Oh, really? So, again, if I take an orange with a peel and I measure it on a scale, does it weigh more than when I take the orange peel off? Yes. So, aka less mass by removing the orange peel, Rachie. Semantics, that's the word.
You never once measured the mass to see whether the orange took on any water when you took the orange peel off and absorbed water.
Did it now? Straight away?
Making it more dense, making it have more mass. Not once did you do any of that. This is...
The experiment was mass attracting mass. Hypothesis was simple. By removing the mass, the orange should go up because of a less attractive force. What did we see? Removing mass caused it to go down in the opposite direction. What was the independent variable? Mass. Did I manipulate the mass? Yes, I did. Oh no, that's called science. You can only have one independent variable in a hypothesis, Rachie. Because if you don't, you can have multiple variables and you won't know what caused it, Rachie. This is why you guys love pseudoscience so much. Oh boy.
a biased experiment, Flatzoid, and it shows that you don't know how to actually do an experiment.
How's it biased if I used gravity as the hypothesis and gravity was shown false? If I was biased, I would have used density as my hypothesis and did experiment on density, and then it would have affirmed everything I said. Oh wait, it did affirm everything I said because the null was strictly against mass attracting mass. Doesn't make it biased, it makes it validated. So gravity shown false, Raichi. I know you can't accept this and it's hard for you, so you have to cry about it. But this is reality, my dear. Science disproves your globe.
Experiment. So this is the orange dry, 39 grams.
Notice, this is the orange dry, 39 grams, without the peel, okay? What happens when you wet something? Do you add mass to it? Last time I checked, water has weight.
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
So what do you think is going to happen if you wet the orange? It's going to get heavier, correct? You've added mass to it. Okay.
And this is the orange wet.
There we go. Thank you, Rachie. Added weight. You added mass. Oh, no, Rachie. So not mass attracting mass then.
42 grams. It gained mass by being wet too.
So, you added mass to it, Rachie. Get it? Added mass. Now, was one of my variables adding water to it to give it more mass? No. I removed mass, Rachie. What was the mass I removed? The peel. Ow.
Okay, got rid of all the air bubbles inside.
Also note, remember before I got rid of the air, what happened to this orange? Was it floating while it was wet?
Yeah.
It was floating, correct?
Yeah, of course.
Then I removed the air inside, around and everything, and then it sunk? Was the orange wet when I did that? Was it floating when it was wet? Yes, it did, Rachie. Ouch.
Which would give it buoyancy.
The buoyancy formula is rho GV. So
again, buoyancy formula before your beloved gravity didn't have G. It never existed for 1,900 years. 1,900 years of ships floating on the ocean, people using fishing boats, fishing vessels, and making things float without G. Your homework is to show G was involved before it was even postulated. And then again, next homework, show how a not force can cause things to accelerate in your paradigm, Rachie. Oh wait, it can't. You either have to choose F equals ma, which is a natural law, yeah, or you decide to say natural law is wrong. Your choice. F equals ma real or it's not. Your choice, because you can't have it both ways.
why haven't you measured and calculated the buoyancy Flatzoid? So we know that buoyancy is rho GV.
No, you want it to be rho GV because that's what they have it as the equation today. That doesn't make it reality.
So did the density of the water change?
Hey,
Probably
Dev.
not.
Hey, Dev, good to see you, mate. Thank you for coming.
Did G change?
No.
No.
Did G change? No. So not mass attracting mass. Way to debunk yourself. Well done.
Did the volume change? Yes, the volume changed. You changed the volume of the object. You changed the volume displaced. Therefore, you changed the buoyancy force. Now weight, W equals mg, you also changed m. So you also changed the weight. So the amount of buoyancy force needed for the weight to go up would have also changed.
So displacement then, my dear.
Well, you've got no opinion, no opinions in the chat.
Hey, no opinion. Thank you for coming. I just want to say thank you very much for validating every single thing I did. Also by making shit up and lying about what I say. Thank you. Yeah.
See, these are the variables that you're not taking into consideration, Flats.
No. Did you just hear what she said? These are the variables you're not taking into consideration. Sorry, what does displacement have to do with everything she just said? I don't know, everything? So, not gravity then, not mass attracting mass. Displacement, Rachie. When you know what the word displacement means, you will know every word you just said was part of that. So, just you not understanding the word displacement shows you already had your downfall.
Because all you want to do is strawman and misunderstand.
How can I strawman my own experiment? Can anybody explain that to me? How do you strawman your own experiment? I think the one's trying to strawman here is Raichi.
Try taking into account the variables, try actually measuring the things, and then actually try repeating the experiment. Until then, all you have is confirmation.
I don't need to repeat it, because now Opinion did it for us. And now Opinion showed exactly the same results. Or did I miss something? Did now Opinion do exactly the same, guys? And give exactly the same results, and the analyzation was exactly the same? Only difference was he was not our gravity, while proving my point it's not gravity. Thank you, Raichi. Wow.
Information bias and really bad experimentation.
This is an orange.
Well, at least you got something right, Flats. Now, Flatzoid, can you tell me why this orange is flipping around, please? What is causing this orange to...
Because it's uneven. Do you know how unbalanced works, Raichi? Does she think that orange is perfectly round?
Oh, just like the globe?
Yeah. The
Even though it's not?
The oblate spheroid. Does she think that orange is perfectly round?
It's certainly not.
Everything has to be 666.
Flip around.
Oh, wow.
It's all...
By the way, she's made my point again. Displacement, not mass attracting mass.
also nice to know that you now know what mass is. So no more, what is mass?
No, what is mass? Have they told us yet what mass is, guys? No. You see, the difference is not what we don't know what mass is. We ask you guys what's mass, because the definition of mass goes against gravity. And the sooner you understand that, the better. Really simple stuff. What's mass, Raichi? Oh, wait. If you say that, then you're going to know it's not gravity. Gravity is absolutely against what mass is. It's all density.
BS, right?
And that was Raichi's video for really bad rebuttal.
You know you used to agree with most things Flat said, so I don't know what you're talking about in there. When you said that one
All she does these days is troll, guys. I think we're used to it by now. She's gone full-blown retarded globetard.
Or something, huh?
Yeah. She's gone literally full-blown globetard, guys. And it all started when she started hanging around at Deltards.
I was going to say, yeah, I think she got... Well, who was it? Or yeah, maybe it worked out.
So now, opinion, you know it's clothes now then. You didn't know in your video.
But now, opinion, yeah, you can always go back to the beginning of the video because we did start with your stuff. But yeah, cloves.
Yeah.
It's dried out cloves.
Dry flowers.
It's dried out cloves, yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. I was like, as soon as I seen it, I'm sure that's cloves. It's cloves. It's got to be cloves. It's only orange I've ever seen pierced with cloves, so.
Oh, that's already 2 hours.
Yeah, it's done. We're done.
That was fast.
So what do you guys have to say? I enjoyed that stream.
Well,
what do I think?
I think you said it all, right? Yeah.
Are you really asking me that question?
Have you guys noticed how they didn't? Have you guys noticed how they didn't disprove the experiment to be unscientific?
They were giving no opinion made a concession, but he won't recognize it as a concession.
He did, yeah. Oh, he's from Sweden, guys. There we go.
Oh, Sweden.
Yeah, I think it was who said that? This Lord said he thinks he's from Swedish.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I thought he was Austrian or something.
Yeah, I said German or something.
Yeah, he had like a Swedish almost accent.
So I was wrong there. Okay, so what do you guys have to say about the scientific method?
Excellent. Well, hold on. Flux, can you please explain?
What do I have to say about the scientific method? I don't know.
Nothing. Okay, but anyway.
Well, are we talking about the way science does things, or the
Yeah,
actual scientific
the way the
method?
scientific method is done. I think it's
Sorry,
quite straightforward if you follow it.
I was just reading chat. I'm just trying to work out who Flatzoid's fan is. I think it's Andrew Johnson again.
I haven't seen
I
Andrew
think
Johnson as
I think
as
there's
his
something
own.
else going on.
He just come in a minute ago. I just banned him again.
I haven't
He
seen
just
Andrew
come in.
Johnson as his sock account for a long time.
He just come in. He just come in as Andrew Johnson too. I just had to ban him.
Well, hello,
Yeah.
Andrew Johnson. Thank you for coming. I haven't seen you in a while.
Don't see the thanks. He got banned.
No, gravity's not a thing, in our opinion. You want it to be a thing, but it's not a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing. It's a pseudo thing.
It's a want to be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, guys, it's gonna say thank you for everybody coming.
Experiment with gravity cannot be tested. I mean, you don't know what it is. Nobody knows what it is. It's a guess. At best, it's rubbish. It doesn't exist, dude.
Yeah, well, gravity's not a force. You can't
No.
use it as a force because as soon as you try and use it as a force, you're just evoking things that are not real as real.
You need gravity to make mass, and you need mass for gravity. So chicken or egg, dude.
No, gas doesn't go down, go boom boom, in our opinion. Way to show you don't understand how gas works. Anyway, yeah, thanks guys all for coming. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the super chats and the gifting membership, Travolta, man, you rock. Appreciate everybody that came. If you haven't already, hit that like button, share the show. It really, really does help to get out to a wider audience. And I appreciate you all and your support. And yeah, I enjoy the scientific method thing. Maybe tomorrow night, because I really wanted to go through this video. Gravity upwards acceleration or whatever. I think maybe we can do that tomorrow. Wednesday night. Tomorrow's Tuesday.
Tuesday. Yeah.
So I'll see you guys all Wednesday. Really appreciate you all. Appreciate everything you guys do for this channel. And I'll see you guys. Many, many blessings. And may the pressure be with you. And don't forget, we live on a stationary horizontal plane with topography. Cheers.
Sure do.